Hi. Hi, everyone. Um, we're back on another Sunday, and we're going to look at the Kaonashi project file. And I've got the chat up where I can see it, so I'm not looking down here. And I'm excited because I feel like everyone needs something to do during these rough times that we're all having. If you have any questions that you want answered about the song, hello. Is that working? I can't tell. Let's see. Hold on. I feel like it's like a tenth of my screen. Oh, geez. Okay, hold on. Yeah, it is a Minecraft pig. Somebody sent the Minecraft pig sound in the it is 254 in one of the Twitch submitted sample song things that we did. Let me switch my computer resolution over. Hopefully it doesn't crash OBS while I do that. Here's my desktop, by the way. Okay, let's see. Fingers crossed. Did that work? Okay. Whoa. What? Can you can you guys see the size of this window? Oh my god, that's hilarious. Okay. Let's turn off preview and okay. It's so blurry. Hopefully that's crispy for everybody. For me it's pretty blurry. It's not too important, but okay, good, crispy. Yeah, I got my Twitch account back too, which was good. I had to submit a new number and it took like 6 days. All right, this project file is a lot more interesting than you, in my opinion. There's actually a lot more going on and actual ideas. Hold on, I gotta plug in my laptop up here. All right, so
すみません。うるさいよ。お願いします。
all right, I'm gonna go in starting with my favorite stuff. Okay. A lot of it is like repetitive stuff, like just kind of repeating tracks, but most of the work is done on kind of this cluttery stuff here. So I'll solo these tracks. This is verse 1. I can't get them to zoom at the same height. Okay. feel like it's kind of quiet. Is that too? Oh, that's kind of loud. All right, so breaking it down, we've got a marimba. It's just a single note. And that's going through this plugin, which is making it sit in 3D space. So without it, with it. Usually I'd kind of use this one and pan before the reverb. But I like this plugin sometimes. And then the next one is a kalimba. So that's the Omnisphere stuff. There's like 10 really good thumb pianos on Omnisphere. I shouldn't cough in this stream. I was watching the last one back and I was like, don't cough. Yeah, this stuff has like some of the cool ones in here are like, there's some really low bass ones too that I like. And I think this is the first song where I used a guitar sound, because usually it just feels kind of corny or something. But lately I feel like it gives it some like special vibe. Yeah, that was Over the Horizon. I think it might be, it might feel like 90s hip hop stuff where they were like using corny keyboard sounds a lot. I think that's what it reminds me of, but I just like the feeling of it. And then another, this is pizzicato cello, like expensive contact library. I shouldn't open that. Yeah, I think all the MIDI notes for this are like really low velocity. That would explain why I just deafened half of you. And then there's a piano as well. But yeah, I just kind of work off of each bar. That's why everything's in little blocks here. I'll actually just start in with probably, what I started with is, let's see, these tracks, which were like kind of more structural. So I just place in like, I knew the chord progression I wanted, and so I just set up these first, but one at a time. So I'd start with this one and then add in this stuff. All right, that helps. Okay, now there's this stuff. This is just a piano chord. What is this from? This is another sample from a vinyl sample collection I have. And this just hits every like, dun. And so once I have all of those tracks, let me solo them all again. And then I put down the piano probably. And then everything else gets programmed in by hand, so. Dum, 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 dum. And usually I don't really have a melody, like a sub-melody, until all the tracks start coming together, so. That's the melody, dum, dum, da, dum. But that probably emerged just by like adding notes on different tracks. And then once I hear a melody in the stuff that I've programmed, I'll just like emphasize it with another track. So it probably was a combination of these two, the kalimba and the cello. So you can kind of hear it, and then adding it in so it's clear. I think too, a lot of the melodies that I write that are like, I don't know, what's the name, Hocketing? Stuff where like the melody is there, but it's like literally jumping between different instruments, and I feel like I'm the only one that actually knows the melodies. The obvious one is the piano. But then some of these are obvious, but some of them I feel like, yeah, I know what the melody should be, but it's not actually there. Like that. There's so many notes going on, but I have my own pick of each note, which is the melody. Especially I hear people like covering it on Instagram, and they'll just play a different melody than I think it is. So that's kind of where I'm basing my hypothesis off of. All right. Then from here I'd put in the bass. So I'll show off the bass here. There's so much stuff on it, it's kind of ridiculous. I can't remember if it was this song or maybe another song I was working on, but I figured out you can do this like thing with the pitch bend on these notes. This kind of stuff. And yeah, that stuff's so much fun. And it might have been this song. I think, it was this song. I was programming in the bass, and I think I just made a mistake on this first note. And then from there, that became kind of the style of the bass. And since then, I've done it a lot. So like on this one, I basically just add 2 nodes and drag this one up. And you could do it on every single note if you wanted to. All right, we'll move on. I'm going to keep all this stuff soloed and start adding in all the other stuff. Who here has their like scroll settings for their mouse set to like 12 lines at a time? Thank you, Don Bongo. Yeah, because like if you have your scroll wheel settings in like control panel set to 1 line at a time, like 1 scroll wheel click is like that. And so you have to like get to the end of your project file. And so mine's set to like, I think 9 or 12 lines at a time, but it makes other things like anything else on the computer really hard to use. All right, so next up, I'm gonna add in the kick drum. So I would program the bass and then put in the kick drums. That way I'm not like, if you put in the kick drums first, then the bass stuff that you write is kind of like governed by the kick drums that you chose. And so if you do it the other way around, the kick is like a slave to the bass line that you wrote. The headphones I'm using are Sony MDR 7506. It's like pretty standard headphones, but lately I'm pretty upset with them. So I'll show you what I've been using. I'll take a little second. User library. So, Oh, mic's a bit soft. All right, there we go. This is the EQ that I use on my headphones when I'm working, because yeah, there's this program called SonarWorks, and they have profiles for a lot of headphone models, kind of the average. So it's not perfect for every, like it doesn't work for every pair of headphones, but yeah, I just ran it into Isotope and took the noise profile from the program because they offered a free trial. And so while I had the free trial, I ran white noise through it and picked off the profile. I don't think it's illegal. I think it's just saucy, but I don't know. Maybe they'll come after me. And then the other thing I have here is balance. And so this fixes either my hearing loss in one ear or the headphone damage. Yeah, but I think it's the headphones. I'm almost certain, but I don't have enough headphones to test it on. But it's pretty significant. Like sometimes if I'm lazy, I'll just do 9 to the left, but it's kind of crazy how much louder the right speaker in these headphones are. All right, yeah, that's what I use. That's my whole headphone setup. All right, and then we'll put in the hats. I think the hats are pretty. All right, so now that we're at the percussion, I think it's a good time to go over how the timing of this song works. So here's what the click sounds like. And so actually it sounds like this. But set on that speed, then the chording notes of the second part of the bars are like on the offbeats. So you can set it to eighth notes so that you don't have that problem. All right, so the timing, if I add in all these kicks. All right, so it's like, here's the snare drum and do like da, da, da. So the timing is like da 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 1 2 da 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 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 da 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 so but what ends up happening is you have you're going 1 2 3 yeah, you're going 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Is that right? Or 1 2 3 4? No, it's on 5. So you take 5 divided by 7. Oh, that doesn't seem right. 71. 4 divided by 7. Yeah. Let me figure out why that's the case. Wait. Yeah, so you're going, if you have all the beats here, this is where the snare's landing here. Oh, jeez. Okay, no, I got it. I got it. Here we go. So, here's the 7 beats. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6. What the frick? This is okay. This is the 7th beat. This is screwing me up. That's why. Okay, so this is the snare and this is the kick. So, and the second kick is dom boom that dom 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 that dom dom. And so like if that was straight, it would just be like boom boom bat boom 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 bat boom. But it's on the shuffle, so it's a supposed shuffle like. And that shuffle is 4 beats, so 1 2 3 4, and then 3 beats 1 2 3. So 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3. And so that would just be wouldn't that be 4 over 3 as well? No, what? I guess not. Why wouldn't it be 4 divided by 7? Because it's the 4 beats. Yeah. It's 57% of 7 beats before the second hi-hat. I wish if I knew music terminology a little better, this wouldn't be a mess. I hope it makes sense to some people. Basically, this this second beat, like dum bum 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 bum, is the distance, like the ratio between da da da, is 57%. Like you'd squeeze it this way or this way. I don't know if it's flipping my. This is such a mess. Anyways, the whole point is this is why the mic is called an SM57. Okay, okay, I think I didn't delete any kick drums now, so we're good. Oh, why don't I just use, instead of using my hands, I'll just use my mouse. So this is 57% to 100% here. You can see my screen, right? Okay. Let's add some more stuff. We're pretty much done. I love 808 rides. I don't know if this is actually from an 808. I think I've used this sample so many times that the actual origin is lost. But I love just really, really quiet 808 ride because it just adds like I don't know, a nice like background for the drums, so everything kind of has like air to breathe. I'll play it and then I'll mute the rides and maybe you can feel the difference. It's super necessary. And those are the things that like while you're working, it just like it doesn't sound quite right and then you're like, oh yeah, I can add 808 rides. And like those things, like maybe if I never thought to add it, it just wouldn't have it. And then what I'll do is I'll just solo some of the extra stuff now by itself. So all of this stuff is from splice packs, like people going around their house and recording stuff and putting together like pretty awesome stuff. I don't think I could do it myself. That's how good a lot of these sounds are. Like they're just household objects, but whoever has recorded these did such an amazing job. Like this stuff is amazing. Oh, let me turn off my air purifier. Is that better? So yeah, all this stuff is under the different drums. Like I'll show this one. Yeah. And then the rest of the stuff in here is like, I don't think that's anything. Just noise. This is silent. Delete that. Yeah, that's basically it for, and then some stuff that comes in on the second half. And this hat. Anyways, that's, oh, and then melodica, which I recorded in with the cheap Amazon melodica that I have. I think, yeah, it's detuned 15, but it should be detuned a lot more than that. But this melodica's out of tune. Here, actually, I should do harmony with it. All right, so before I go into the choruses, I'll go to the second verse or whatever and show kind of the stuff that's going on here, because it's about the same but just a bunch of extra stuff. Okay, the bass line's pretty awesome. And then yeah, same thing basically. The offbeat staggered bass bit, this one. I think I just played that in to get the timing, because it's not really based on. Yeah, it looks like it's completely off grid. And then after I have the timing of it, I'll slide all the drums to match. So this is what, Soul Pride. So I just use all the like drum rolls and stuff from that. This verse I wanted to start bringing in a little bit of the actual septuplets. So these cowbells are like ding 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 ding. Let me play with the kick. All of this stuff is basically because I worked on the chorus and then I had a bunch of new tracks from that. So that's kind of one of the upsides of working on a song front to back, is that the song naturally gets better like towards the end of the song, which is good song structurally wise. So yeah, so I'll do the first chorus and then I'll do the second verse and then I'll duplicate the second chorus over, and I'll have some new tracks from the second verse to add into the chorus. And so yeah, it'll kind of just naturally build like that. How many tracks? 134 or 133. I really like some of the stuff in here, like dun, 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 dun. Yeah, sometimes it just feels like I'm referencing some video game, like some Flash game song that I heard a long time ago or something. It feels like something I played. There was a game called Fancy Pants Adventure that I played a lot, and I think I might have been pulling some stuff from that. The color coding is like grouped by color, but if there's certain tracks that like I can't find a lot of the time, I'll just make them brighter. And so like this guitar, I'll make like a different shade of red and just store it in memory. That way, like, yeah, that helps me with just remembering where everything is. Because the worst is like when you're like onto something and you're like can't find the track and you're like panicking, like idea. Oh, all the clips being different is just like completely random. I don't change it. I don't know. I like just having random stuff because I start to memorize the random more than if like, for instance, if you do this. Where is it? There we go. This drives me crazy. Because now you really can't find anything. Like this stuff is like, now you have to read the text on it. Okay. So I think that's all right for the verses. It's kind of loud, huh? Oh, this part's actually really cool. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in this song. So I wrote these new chords on the piano because I knew I wanted a chord change, but it took me a while, so I just played chords for like a couple hours until I got. So the organ is from unknown vinyl pack. It's not really even in key. It's like the idea of organ, but underneath everything, it sounds like organ. Organ is a really hard sound to get from software. It's really just hard to get all those steps because you need like, I mean, an organ is such a physical instrument, and then it's literally coming out of a spinning speaker, and then probably like this one went into a vintage mic pressed onto tape or vinyl or something. Like by the time you get it on your computer, it's like pretty unreproducible. I really like this, like, I like having like complex chords and then just doing something really cliche. It has this like, in the context of the rest of the song, feels kind of sweet in a really innocent or like naive way or something. So like this chord change here, it's like a little bit of cheesy in a big ball of mess. But these chords definitely don't make any sense. Like if you just play them without the melody, it's pretty weird. And then there's a horn here, like going. Yeah, there it is. On the pig, so synced with the pig. I really should. I wish I had time to go into the project file before I stream, but I'm literally like kind of rediscovering it on stream, which is kind of embarrassing. But the way I get Ableton into OBS is I have a little mixer, and I run the headphone out of my audio interface into the input of the mixer, and then run the output of the mixer back into my audio interface, and then I have the interface input set as the input on here. That way I can run my mic and the audio at the same time. And so the mic goes into the mixer. All right, I'll move on to the chorus now. Turn it down a bit. Holy. Okay. Okay. I'll answer the questions as soon as I see them. The VSTs I'm using. So most of this is audio clips, but I have contact library called Alicia's Keys, and usually I just do everything like low velocity because I don't like the harsh sound of this one. So I just program everything soft and then boost the highs. And sometimes, which I think it might be, yeah, so this is tuned down 5 semitones, which just gives it a darker sound. And then you just boost back the MIDI back in place. So it shifts the formant down basically. It sounds more like an upright and less like a software grand piano. Yo, the timer's done. When does the screen turn on? Yo, what? This guy, can someone tell him to refresh? Because I literally saw a comment from him like 25 minutes ago that said, when does the breakdown start? And and I thought he was like screwing with me, but I don't think he's screwing with us. Oh, oh geez. All right, and then I'll just go down the list here. This is a synth that I made a really long time ago. I think I was copying, I don't know what song it was. It was an Aphex Twin song. It might be Flim. But yeah, I have a couple stuff. Ooh, Alberto Balsam. Maybe that's it. I don't want to play too much of it on stream. Let's see. I'm done. I can't make it into the synth part in time. I made this for another song. It reminds me of Taiko, maybe? But just like saturator and then reverb on a Rhodes note. And then this stuff I showed, it's just, oh my god. It's just stuff on simplers. This is Omnisphere, Contact. Oh, there's that cello. And then, yeah, mostly massive if it's a synth. All right, I'm gonna go over the chorus now, which is over here. So I started this section. I wouldn't have had this, and I wouldn't have had any of this stuff. So I probably would have had this, and then I probably start with the pad, one of them, like. I'll just go over these pads first. So these are all samples from different things, kind of cut into individual chords. This is actually from not Face the Night, Crybird. I had Pad Shop and then my trial expired, but I managed to make these tracks with them. And then it's just running through a filter, so the filter's automated. I've always loved this. I've used it a couple times. It's just a guy playing a horn. But I love the sound of it. It's really haunting and sad. At some point, there's so many pads layered on top of each other that none of them mean anything. But definitely, like, the idea for this comes from this album, which is the one with the sidechain. Oh, it's this one. Here we go. No, it's not. This one. So ever since I heard that, I was like so into pads with sidechain on them. And I used it on the end of All Yours. That was like the first time I stole the idea. So I built these pads, and then I built like a drum track to go with it. And like I had this moment. I took my laptop upstairs and set it up on the kitchen table, and tried to work on it that way, just see if I could come up with different ideas if I'm in a weird environment. And so I started sampling Japanese, like classical Japanese recordings. So I'll just go through each one. It's like flutes. Shakuhachi, is that right? And then this one is Kota. No, Kota. I thought it was Koto. This one's called Kota and this one's called Koto. Maybe they're different instruments. Or I definitely screwed one of these track names up. I thought it's Koto though. I love this track. Where is it? Oh no, it's this one. Screams. Sounds like kids, but it's pitched up, so it's just normal people. But pitched up, it's like really like school scream kind of vibe. Like when you have a bunch of kids going like, yeah! In like Boards of Canada songs or something. And then this track's really weird, but kind of the main track. And once I had this stuff, I kind of was screwing around. I really thought it would sound bad once I got downstairs and listened to it again, but I was like, oh, I fixed it. And like, I could work on the rest of the stuff. Added like a bunch of crash cymbals or China cymbals. It's pretty ridiculous. They're all like grouped into different cymbals and a different sample on the left and right. So that's the first one. Second one. And I tweaked this for a long time, like repitching cymbals and like switching out samples just to get it to sound right. And another like kind of crazy, a lot of like splice samples from here. Trap snare. And like kind of cliche bamboo snares. I really like this one, has this like ha over top of it. And this one has a delay on it. I don't know. This is like, this is lo-fi, I think. So I started downloading a bunch of these because they're really useful. And then that goes through, it says Clams because I started copying Clams Casino's idea of like delay with erosion on it. I don't know how he does it, but when you have a lot of noise and then a delay, it sounds pretty awesome. Okay, I'll go over the kick drum. I don't know if it's that special. Let's see. All right, we've got. So it's just some kick drum sound, and like it's from the drum break, Soul Pride. I guess I couldn't get the attack right, so I just made a new track. Or it looks like I wanted to pan it center because it was off center. But probably it's too far right, maybe, since I was doing it in these headphones only. And then this is just another little click to, I think it turns on in the chorus. All right. Here's that noise track again that I put in every song. I think it gets really loud during the last chorus. Yeah. Okay, I want to show off the drum programming on this section. So there's these drum loops. Where are they? Right here. So each one is like, let's see, I'll just drag them both out. So I just have them like chopped up so they fit the beat. And then I have pretty basic drum beat, and I went crazy with the drum break stuff here. Really fun, but also takes a long time. But it's especially fun on the septuplet grid because you can do these like kind of accents that really don't sound normal. Like that snare there. That's pretty much all the basic stuff in this, but if you have any questions, like stuff that I just didn't go into, I'd love to show off some more stuff. Short vocal sounds. Short vocal sounds. In what section? Probably in the chorus. I sample stuff with, I just download tons of music without checking what it is, and then just like, it could be anything. Oh, thank you for the subscription. So all of this stuff is from like a ethnic music CD company. I don't know, I think they've all been imported. Weird long noise sample. Oh yeah, this also I don't really know the backstory behind. But if you search Hitting the Pavement, you might be able to find it on YouTube. But most of the stuff like that I use, I try and find them on YouTube and it's not there, which is kind of good news for like copyright stuff. The snare. Okay, I'll go over the snare. Where is it? Yeah, I think what makes my snares sound similar is that I just take off the decay. Where is the snare though? Oh, here it is. So, oh, I didn't really do much to it anyways. Yeah, I guess it's not mine at all. I think it might be a splice sample. Sorry, I might have missed some questions too. That just scrolled too far up. Oh, this stuff's cool. So this drum loop or whatever sample. I was doing a lot of like stretching it and then automating the pitch on it. Super fun way to make different samples. The drum is falling apart. How do you not forget what you want your drum breaks to sound like? I don't know what the question means, but definitely I do a lot of just listening back from the beginning though. Like, I guess that would stop me from getting out of like the character that I'm building. The show off the end of the first chorus. Oh, this part. No, end of the first chorus. What is that? Wizard effects. That's what I named this. It reminds me of like a wizard video game. Horn. This is just. Thank you for the bits. Drum and bass remix of this song or any song. I've done some drum and bass-ish stuff. I usually, actually not usually, I always start with the melody stuff. Melody, chords, and then bass, and then drums. So many ideas. How do you imagine the sound in your head? Oh geez, I lost some questions. Oh geez. I can't even scroll. I need to do it. I need to bring the laptop down. Okay. There's definitely a shortage of ideas. It's more just like not a lot of ideas, but a lot of time. So it takes a long time to get enough ideas and details. I wish it just like flew out of my fingertips, but would be so easy to keep adding stuff. I wish it was easy to add stuff. Wow. Somehow it's the hardest thing is like adding anything, and it doesn't sound like there's enough yet, and like just trying so many things adding on top and like nothing works, and like finally something works, and then you can like go off of it from there. But strategy for listening to new sounds, sampling new music. Yeah, I find that I can pretty much sample anything, because you can always just like take a small part of it and turn it into a synth or something. So every sample is just like an opportunity for a sound, not really the sound itself. Oh, what's that? When do you know when to stop adding? As soon as it sounds like finally it's enough, then I do the mixing and mastering I kind of know what I'm doing. I think more so with mixing and mastering, I'm just guessing. This one probably is average like 100 hours to do. Mixing choices, I mean, it definitely comes down to like different scenarios. But I could go through and like explain why everything's panned where it is. I feel like everything's panned slightly to the left because I mixed everything in these headphones, but that's pretty basic. The ride's off to the right a little bit. And the hat's a little bit to the left, I think. No, it's center. The drum break is a little bit left. And then I probably balance it out with the snare going left so that the snare is center. Just because, yeah, I don't really know. It's kind of random. It's stupid to try and explain it. Basically, yeah, I said it in the last stream. It's not really like about balancing the volume of sounds. It's kind of just making sure the sounds are good. And then the balance between them can't be wrong. It can just be like different stories, basically. If something sounds too loud and you can't fix it, or like just the balance of sounds off, it's probably just the sounds are bad and you need to get better sounds. I'd say 90% of this or more is just programmed with a mouse. Especially all of this stuff is programmed in. I haven't played a note of this stuff. The piano I played in, but little, like just sections at a time. Like I can tell I played this stuff. And then that's the end of that recording. And I just add, like pencil in stuff on top of that. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll back down. Okay, I think I made it back to the beginning. I do a lot of quantizing, but I also do a lot of not quantizing at all. Some songs I don't quantize anything, but I do like drag everything like right where I want it, and it's kind of a pain in the ass, but I do that sometimes. And then sometimes like this song, I think everything's pretty much exactly on the beat. Some sounds like, I gotta catch my breath. Some sounds, you kind of want them offbeat, like especially like the marimba. Sometimes like it'll get lost in the layering, so you want to offset it. So you can see these notes are not on the beat. And because if they're on the beat, then you can't hear them because they're underneath every other sound. And after, just gives it like more clarity that way. And same with snare drum sounds. If you're layering snares, a lot of the time you don't want two snares to hit exactly on the same time, or like clap samples are really important to like zoom in and place them where you want them. I don't know if I have any claps. I have tons of claps. Where are they? Huge clap. So this is on the beat. Let me just pull up like a 707 clap. So here's the snare and the clap. So if I were to like place this right on there, it's kind of boring, but a little before, or maybe a lot before, you can kind of like hear the clap and the snare separately instead of them just like hitting. Because the clap is like consisting of a bunch of little tiny claps. Like you can cut them all out, And so some of them should be before the snare and some of them should be after, ideally. Okay, I'm going to keep just standing up the scroll. You can't hear me. Hold on. My laptop is not great. It's the XPS 15, and it's the one from like 2016. And it struggles sometimes for sure. There's a bunch of problems with it, but somehow it handles big project files. I'm going to go through and search for little things that I totally missed. Just starting at the top with seagulls. Okay, so like this part before the seagulls, obviously. This part's like really cold gray beach vibe to me. Like the song kind of falls into an abyss or something. And this reversed vocal sample like so I knew I needed to add seagulls to like fully get the vibe of that like cold terrifying beach or like giant shipping boats and stuff. It's really quiet. I don't know if it does anything. Sorry about the delay. Next up is the wizard effects. I went over this. This is just like stretching samples, so this is probably really short. But yeah, you can stretch stuff out with warp and make kind of cool effects with it. Glitch. Do you always imagine a world in your head like that? No, only sometimes, like when like a certain layer of sounds elicit some like memory that doesn't actually exist. That's a nice sound. I don't know what it was originally. Oh, that's... What? I guess that's the original sound. I'm not sure. Maybe I froze it and flattened it. Tom roll. This track turned into a plug somehow, but originally it was supposed to be tom roll. I think I use a lot of tom roll samples just because like when I want it to like transition to something, I'm always like rolling my tongue like and then I'm like tom roll. Yeah, I really like tom rolls, I got to say. I just imagine like one guy with a tom like and then alright, let's go through these as fast as I can. I thought somebody said that's Tom. Some more stuff like that. This is kind of a... Oh, there we go. The dum. That is a dumb track. That's embarrassing almost. This one makes sense. That's doing something. Okay, I should just mute the delay, huh? Creepy cymbal. Here's another creepy cymbal. Tape cymbal. That's a nice cymbal. Okay, I'm checking for redeem, highlight my message. Redeemed, highlight. Did you pay to highlight tomato land? More symbols, more hiss, I guess. Ooh, that's a nice one. That's important. I realized a couple days ago that the highest frequency that I can hear is like 18.3. So like there. And so I boost, like, I do a lot of stuff like this. And I think it's because I can't hear those frequencies. And it's basically just boosting here at like 6 dB. But I think a lot of my masters have like really loud stuff above my audible hearing range. Which I'm kind of scared about, but this one hurts. Like, it's a weird feeling. If you go to humanbenchmark.com, there's a hearing test on there where it just does like a sine sweep from really high, and you press the button when you can hear it. Pink noise, sort of. This is like a, oh, thank you, Knox and Box. Oh yeah, by the way, if you guys have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to my channel for free. Basically give me like free money. Yeah, so if you have Prime and you're not subscribed to anybody, you can use it on my account. So look into that if you want. It doesn't cost you anything, so. It's a way of supporting me without unsupporting you. Lay-by ride. This is just the ride symbol. I use it a lot. Awesome. They're rolling in. This is from lay-by, and I've just used it a bunch since I made lay-by. I went over this stuff, drum break, bamboo. I guess it's funny that I'm using... Thank you. What is it? One of these samples, everyone thought it was funny that I'm using the pack, but I don't know anything about it. I didn't really go into how this was made. I'll go through each one quickly. So I have this giant sample library. Bo samples. I got it from Bo, my friend. I can't say his last name, but Diaco is his Spotify name. Bo Diaco. It's Diakowitz. He's on Instagram. He plays guitar with big poofy hair and rainbow shirts. So I have a ton of little clips that's somebody ripped off of vinyl records. And there's so many. And so that's where I've been getting a lot of my samples for the last year. That's where this tamborine's from. Yeah, that's all in this group of stuff. Some metal main, metal strike, metal rattle, seed shaker. Yeah, tam loop. I think that's the same tambourine, just coincidentally. Or not coincidentally, but just I never noticed. That's hilarious. So I have this stuff grouped into different groups. So this one has the air reverb on it. So this stuff is more 3D. So without the air reverb. Pretty dry. I wish I could check like instances of air reverb, but there's probably 30 or 40 in here. Yeah, that's that stuff. And then this pour sample is so good, and I've used it in 3 or 4 songs now. It's weird how basic of a sound it is, but even layered on top of the whole song, it's recognizable as pop fizz. or some fizz. It doesn't have to be pop. And sometimes I like to put a little can open sound like I think there is in the sample. Oh, nice. I'm working on a full length right now, which should be out, if I'm being realistic, next summer, but not this summer. But it's not that, like, it's probably more than half done, but once you get it done, it still takes so long to get out. Oh, my power chords. I love this track. It's so weird that works. I think what it is just the combination of this noise track and the bass made me hear power chords, and then I was like, oh, I should just add power chords. Yeah. Low note. This is just bass. Melodica, clarinet. I love clarinet, and I love trombone and trumpet. But I love clarinet. I'll just search online or like on SoulSeek like bass clarinet and get a bunch of bass clarinet recordings, like bass clarinet. And I like to add like recital, and you get like really, really amateur recordings of clarinet. So this is the kind of thing that I sample for notes. Thank you for the subscriptions. Yeah. Yeah, I just pull out like single notes and use them. And it's so much better than like downloading some like, I don't know, symphonic sample pack or something. Because you get like weird notes, especially if you have like avant-garde recordings with like squeaks in them and stuff. I think this one's kind of a squeaky one. Oh, never mind, it's a vinyl sample. There's the creepy sound. Oh, is this what you wanted to know for the short samples? I think this is... It's probably... Let's see, headlock. Ooh, I just saved the set. Frick. Oh no. I have to go get a backup or something, like an old project file version, because I definitely screwed with this a lot. Yeah, so here's the original song that I sampled. Just pitch it up. Pitch it up so I don't get caught here. So I'll usually like just take the whole thing and reverse it. And then something like this would be useful. So if I put that on this track. Solo in place, right? Yeah, that's how I do it. And usually pitch down, I think. That's not great. Okay, a couple other tracks. Nothing here. All right, that's got to be the whole project file. Oh, Laplex sample. This is really not. This is not good to sample like this. To be fair, I wasn't sampling the actual song. I was just sampling like the really high frequency stuff on it. But Yeah, I feel bad about that one for sure. And that's it. Yeah, that's the whole song. Yeah, I'll go through any more questions and then I'll say goodbye. Sorry, I might have missed a bunch. I do tune all my percussion usually, especially toms and snare. Cymbals don't really matter, but sometimes cymbals and rides will have a tone in it that you want to tune. I might stream again next Sunday and do another song. That's my plan, is to stream every Sunday, but I can't promise yet. Kick processing. Let me figure out. So, I mean, I looked at it, but I guess I didn't really. Kicks for me are just like, how did you do that sub? What sub? That one? Maybe? Sub. The kick, where is it? I've scrolled up and down so many times now. Did I delete the kick drum? Oh, no, it's in here. That's dumb. Usually I make it black. So this is not like what I do for kicks. See if I can get the Soul Pride kick up and running. Okay, so you want to try and search for like a kick without a hi-hat on it. That one. I can take this one, I think. No, that's not good. None of these are good. I'm just going with one of these. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm going to use this one. I honestly think all I did was put a low pass on it and then EQ it. Like, kick drums are pretty much like not really a sound. It's just like a low frequency, and then you're just controlling how long that frequency goes and what happens with the pitch of it. Like if it goes down fast or like if it shoots down. So yeah, if I did this and then shorten it and then EQ it, basically like you can make any kick with this. And you have like kind of the main tone of the kick, which is here. So you can really just pick the sound you want. And then up here is like kind of the initial attack. So like how high the kick drum starts. And this one has like faster to slower, which means it's going from like a little bit. And then if I freeze and flatten this, I can open it up in like a wave editor and fix it as well. But you can really start with anything as long as you can put a spike in the bass and there's like existing sound there. You'll have a kick drum. I don't know why it's taking so long. I probably have the entire rest of the audio on the other side of it. I have no idea. That is so weird. And what is all this? Wow. Okay, so the resonance just kept like a tone going for 10 seconds. All right, so now that I have this, I can see the like, ooh, yikes. The initial like, sorry. Okay, so now from here, I'll take a fade out and just shorten that. Sorry, it's super loud, but all right, sounding like crap so far, but anyways, yeah. It's like you really have to go between like headphones and speakers to figure out what the kick's doing. And a lot of the times like you can see that the tone is like going all right here and then it has this little glitch here. And so what you can do is just like manually fix it like this. And it won't sound so like cinematic boom. It'll sound more like tonal. And same with here, there's some weird stuff going on, so you can just do like that. And then consolidate it again and like just fix the frequencies. Now it sounds more like a kick drum. They did surgery on a kick. And then the other thing I would fix is this initial period here. So you want to like, you can just normalize the kick manually by splicing it and changing the gain. I love this so much. I don't know how many people do this. Ooh, yeah. Normalized. And then we can even give it like a bit more attack by lowering that. There we go. Not bad. The high frequencies kind of suck. That's all there is to it. Obviously this EQ changes it too. I should slide it to the start of the track and flatten it again. Yeah, so it added like a pretty big spike there. Just because like when this was oscillating here at a faster rate, that's where the bell was on the EQ. But yeah, I definitely could find a better kick drum in my sample library. That's completely true. But if you start with a good kick, you can do a lot of stuff like this just to like, especially if you have a good kick drum sound and you zoom in and there's like a little glitch like that in the sine wave, it helps to fix it. Bit crush it. What is the bit crusher in? I only use this one. Wrong track. I love this bit crusher. Nice. peep that waveform. it's what it does. I mean, if you don't know what rectify does, every time it crosses the 0 mark, it flips the thing around. So it's literally just like anything that crosses the line gets rotated back up, and so effectively the frequency doubles because there's now twice as many curves. And then I think what this lo-fi plugin does is try and correct for the direct current offset. And so it starts way up here, but then it tries to fix it and put it back like average 0. But it's still super trippy. Like, I hate that audio can go above 0 like that. Like, that is so weird. Bass sound in the chorus. I think there's some yeah, true. There's a big pile of stuff that goes on it. So something, oh yeah, this rack turns on here for the chorus. Just overdrive, that's it. Yep. I do really like max bass, even though I don't know what it does. I should really like freeze it and flatten it and see what it does to the waveform, because I just use it without knowing what it's doing. Pitch bass on massive is pretty easy. You go into oscillator and set the pitch bend range. I usually do an octave, but sometimes I set more if I need it. Sweet. Yeah, I think this stream's just about done. Thanks for all of the subscriptions, and if someone can send or I can send it. I'm good at typing. Oh, I'm not logged in. Show your hair. Okay. Yeah. I refuse to cut it. The last haircut I got was really bad, and yeah, since then I didn't get a haircut. I can make it look a little better though. Or a good look is like the Porter Robinson. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you hopefully next Sunday. I'll go over, or actually comment which song I should go over next, or maybe what I should do next if it's not a project file run through. A lot of telescopes. I'll do that one next. I forgot last time to do a riser at the end of the stream, which was tradition. Oh yeah, I just downloaded Lapalex's risers, which are the one I played was crazy. Let's see if this one's longer. Okay. Let's layer them. Let's layer and pan them. Oh, hold on.